just a couple of minutes after 4 o'clock on a Saturday, and a quick 2-game set, Bruins and the Buckeyes.
It's an exciting game for the Bruins as well. It's Alumni Day, so they have a ton of familiar faces here in Easton Stadium. Some notable alumni are Sue Enquist, Rachel Garcia, Gianna DeSalvatore, who threw out the first pitch, Kinsley Washington, and Aaliyah Jordan, who I had the pleasure of playing with. And you obviously know the alumni that are on staff: Kelly Inouye Perez, Lisa Fernandez, and Bubba Nichols Camarena. So we have a lot of alumni here and a lot of Bruin magic in Easton Stadium.
Parisian fouls one back, and Tinsley's ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Parisian, Buick, and Quartercracks, the top 3 for Ohio State. Parisian last night 1 for 3 with a run scored. Tinsley winds up and elevates it, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nice crowd again on hand, and probably more so than last night. Last night we were just under 1,000. Two to Parisian. That is a great pitch. Drops right in there for strike 3. And a strikeout to start the day for Taylor Tinsley, her 101st of the year. Take a look at the Bruins on defense here in game 2. From left to right, Riley Slimp back and left, Jessica Clements in center, Caitlin Terry, the starting right fielder. Across the infield, Woolery, Bragg, Pola, and Grant. So no changes there. And then Maggie Daniel getting a start behind the plate for UCLA with Taylor Tinsley. Ball drops in there to Buick, 1 ball and 1 strike.
That changeup is going to be Taylor Tinsley's money pitch. She's been working on it throughout the week. She's been very confident in it. And just on her profile, you know that she has a nasty changeup that drops about 6 inches vertically when she's throwing it correctly. And it's just a beautiful pitch and very hard for a hitter to be able to see, especially coming out of her hand.
Now this is Buick, a 2 for 2 game in game 1 with that home run in the first inning. Also drew a walk. Came over with her head coach from Miami, Ohio, with the 4 straight last 4 NCAA tournaments. The Miami, Ohio softball team did, with its current Ohio State coach at the helm. It's Coach Kiran Kumar in her first season now with the Buckeyes. 1-2, got her looking. 2 up, 2 strikeouts for Taylor Tinsley.
That's one thing that you'll see from that number 23, Taylor Tinsley. She is efficient as can be. She's going to attack hitters, and she has so many pitches in her arsenal that she's just going to be able to show them all off and be able to finish them off with something different that they haven't seen earlier in the at-bat.
Quartercracks, a 1-hopper right to infield single. 3rd hit of the weekend for Clements. A strike thrown to Savannah Pola, who is leading the Bruins overall in hitting in the first 40 ball games of the year. 451, and last night game high 3 hits to reach 201 to her name all time in a Bruin uniform. 37th player to reach 200. Oh, 2, bouncer the other way, and there is no throw. And I don't know if that Ohio State shortstop, Quartercracks, knew exactly where she wanted to throw the ball. She didn't end up throwing it to anybody, but she was looking at second, didn't throw, and then thought about first, and then it was too late.
And with speed everywhere, you see Savvy Pola's going into a slap in this first at-bat. She's out of the box very quick, and you see Clements was getting a great start, so she had to make a decision quickly to just get Savannah Pola and get 1 out. But now, quickly, 2 infield hits have become a lot of pressure now with the bat of Jordan Woolery in the box.
Yeah, who's hitting 448. 1 for 2 with a RBI single last night, drew a couple of walks. 1-0 pitch, that's at the feet. Woolery's homered 16 times. 1 shy of Grant's lead after the 2 home run game. Game 1, 2-1. A little bit more on Lauren Boutte in the circle. Again, Big Ten pitcher and freshman of the week following her collegiate debut back in February. Down to short again, going to second, this time just in front of Pola. Quartercracks throws to Farley to erase Pola. Runners on the corners, 1 out.
And all of these ground balls, in my opinion, could have been made out if they were playing a little more aggressively. It seems like Ohio State is just kind of on their heels at the moment. Maybe they're expecting the Bruins to hit it harder. Yesterday there were some balls smoked through the infield, and it seems like they're a little bit hesitant to charge the ball. So now it's leading to runners at the corners with Megan Grant, who ended the game yesterday with a grand slam, a table set for her by the Buckeyes.
Hitting .375, now 17 home runs, 57 driven in, 7 runs batted in game 1. Of course, she had the 3-run home run as well. 0-2, she's behind here, chases one away, and she's gone pretty quickly. So an important early second out for Boutte and the Buckeyes.
Especially with one of the most threatening hitters on the Bruin lineup at this very moment. There's a lot of threats throughout the lineup, but Megan Grant was just seeing the ball so well yesterday. They had to pay a lot of extra attention to detail against her in her at-bat.
Here's Riley Slim, couple of hits yesterday, maybe another one here. It's going to be an infield single and an RBI for Slim to put UCLA on the board as Clements comes across. Wow, these infield singles taking a toll early. Here's Kanaya Bragg, first and second.
I just think that's a difference maker, not in that play against Riley Slim's ball. That was a very difficult ball, but they're able to get 1 out of the 2 outs between Jess Clements and Savvy Pola. They're in a very different position than they are right now. They're out of the inning and with no runs scored.
Yeah, Bragg 2 for 2, hit by a pitch in game 1, a strike thrown, 1 ball, 1 strike. And also had nice shot in the left center. One. That is away, 2-1.
And yesterday, Kanaya broke the record for the amount of hit by pitches, and she actually made a funny video on her social media just coining the fact that she gets hit so many times. So she's playing around with the fact that that's happening. I feel so bad for calling her the ball magnet because she has been getting hit so much, but she's keeping it light with that new record. She's the new record holder for hit by pitches.
And there is still more than a month to go in the season.
I'm hoping she doesn't get hit anymore.
2-2, that is hit in the air right side. This will be caught on the grass at second base by Farley. Bruins strand a couple. 2 for 2 with 4 runs batted in.
And she had her sacrifice fly that we couldn't tell if it was going out or not. It was really close to the warning track. So she's been swinging it well, seeing the ball well. I like to see that she's a little more patient in this at-bat, trying to see what Taylor Tinsley has for her.
Yeah, she hails from about 90 miles from where we're situated right now. Let's do some quick math of what she has done this week. A swing and a miss, took a little bit off that pitch, 1-2. So at Long Beach State, midweek, Buckeyes win it in 5, 8-0. She goes 3 for 3 with 3 runs batted in. Last night she goes 2 for 2 with 4 runs batted in. That is a 5 for 5 week, 7 RBIs so far in her return
to home.
Yes.
Much more comfortable in California, right? With the people watching her.
Ow. Say ow.
Even count here. It's Tinsley 2-2, and a swing and a miss. Taylor Tinsley is feeling it early in this game.
She's delivered her first time walking back to the dugout.
First time anybody has been able to do anything with Jasmine Burns this week.
It's a really beautiful pitch on the inner half. Don't think she was expecting it. Looked like a drop ball spin, was able to locate it so that it kept running in to the hitter's lane.
And Milliken fouls one right above our heads. One away here in the top of the second. Bruins had 3 infield singles
Đợi mẹ một chút nhé,
in
mẹ
the
sắp xong
bottom of
rồi.
the first.
Một chút nữa thôi
Capped
mẹ
off
xong
by
rồi.
the Riley Slimp.
Yêu con nhé.
Infield single to short.
Mẹ bế con á.
Scored a run.
Bế con nào?
1-1.
Mama. Ôm. Ôm. Bế con đây ngồi lòng mẹ nhé.
Reagan
Ngồi đây
Milliken
cũng
in
nghe
her
thì cô
senior
dây cờ
season,
dạy con ạ.
345, 13 home runs, and she's driven in 55. Swing and a miss there. Ball dropped, 1-2.
Bánh á. Ôi, tối rồi không ăn nữa con ạ. Mai con ăn.
Outfield, look how deep they are. Wow.
À,
1-2
cái á.
inside. This is obviously a very powerful team
Cái á.
that's hit 95 home runs on the season.
Cái á.
Them and the Bruins in the top 10 nationally in that category, as well as slugging percentage and overall runs scored.
Con nhé.
20 total
Mai con ăn
runs
nhé.
in last night's game. 2-2 pitch. Oh, wow.
Một miếng bé nhé. Một miếng bé
Got her
nhé.
flinching on that one.
Yeah.
Just looking back on this pitch, Taylor seems to be able to counter her body movement and able to just pull the string on that while she turns over her changeup, and it almost gets, looked like it was going to get a piece of her, but came back so beautifully. It was a great pitch.
That's 4 strikeouts, 2 in each inning for Tinsley. Here is Farley. One hit with an RBI last night.
Rồi.
That changeup that Taylor Tinsley has is just devastating. It's hard to hit when you don't know it's coming, but it's even hard to hit when you know it's coming and you're expecting it, just because of all that vertical movement that she has on it and the amount of miles per hour that die off when she throws it.
Farley here, one of the 9 Californians on this Ohio State roster. Farley went to La Costa Canyon High down in the Encinitas area. Very good high school for sports. 2-1 pitch is lifted in the air, going over towards the chalk and right, just in the plate and third. And on the first pitch, that ball ripped into shallow left center off the bat of Alexis Ramirez.
Thôi, mai con ăn.
First pitch at the bottom of the second.
Đi xuống nhanh. Ơ kìa.
It's so wonderful to be able to highlight the alumni on a weekend. You see a lot of energy coming from the alumni just because they're excited to be back in a stadium that they're so familiar with and with people that they don't always get to see. So there's a ton of backing with the UCLA alumni, and I'm super grateful to be a part of that family, just because whenever you come back, it is family. You get that feeling that you've spent 4 years here and you've enjoyed your time as a Bruin in that uniform, and you're just able to give back to a program that helped build you.
Meanwhile, for Ramirez, her 3rd hit of the year right there.
And a pinch runner, Lauren Hatch, coming in for her.
Ramirez last night drew that bases loaded walk. Here is Maggie Daniel, starting catcher here in game 2, looks at ball 1. 9 career hits for Maggie Daniel.
And Maggie Daniel and Sofia Mujica have done a pretty even split in the amount of games that they've played.
And quick to get back to the bag. Hatch, after the liner, hit sharply right to the left side. All right, well, here comes Caitlin Terry, and we take you back not even 24 hours. Caitlin Terry, a grand slam, turned the table in game 1, part of an 8-run second inning. Her first career home run ended up being the winning pitcher, dragging a bunt down. The flip to first is in time. Terry retired. It does move Hatch to second. Almost beat that out.
Caitlin Terry's swing yesterday was just phenomenal. It was a big swing for a big time moment, and it looks like they're going to review this play.
Well, in real time, looked like they beat her by a touch, but they are talking about it.
I thought it was smart for her to bunt in that situation. You get the runner over to second base, and it was a beautiful bunt on the first base side.
Yeah, they're going to look at it.
Especially since they're expecting her to come out swinging big.
See if you see anything definitive that would overturn the call.
Great bunt to the right side. Really well placed. Ooh, she looks safe.
That was a beautiful flip, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, very tight call there at first, but that was a beautiful flip right out of the glove of Boutte.
She could not waste any time, and she
Yeah.
didn't. She flipped it straight out of her glove. She knew that no one was going to be crashing in on that right side of the field, so she had to take it over.
Very close. The call on the field is out. Not sure there was anything definitive that we saw in those couple looks that would say otherwise, but you never know. While we're looking at it up here, they're looking at also down there. And take a look at this view. Ooh.
The call is made when the ball hits the back of the glove
Right.
and when the foot strikes the front of the bag. So looking at it like that, it is close, but I think she probably got her foot down before the ball got to the back of the glove.
Ohio State had a couple of challenges last night that were not successful. The Bruins' first look of the series. All right, one more time here. Beautiful base running and a bunt
Ôi
and
giời
a
ơi.
flip. Remarkably done all the way
Sao đi
around.
tìm mẹ à?
It was very
Cho
tight
con.
plays.
Na, 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 na.
We have to shout out Lisa Fernandez too, one of our alumni.
Yeah.
As soon as she stepped on the base, Lisa Fernandez called for the headset. She wanted this reviewed. She thought she saw something different from that angle. So if this goes her way,
All right. This call is going to stand. You know, to your point, you may have been right that the ball may not have been there before that foot was down. We're going to take another look here, but it's just so hard to tell, and just to say definitively to overturn it, you know, because the call on the field was that she was ruled out. It was a lengthy look, I'll tell you that. Clements. Stand in, 2 outs. And you got the pinch runner Hatch on second base.
that was a really heads-up play by Boutte. I don't think
Oh, yeah.
any of the infield was ready for that from Caitlin Terry. And she was just able to hustle over there and make a very quick decision to just toss it out of her glove.
Butte misses inside, 1-0 to Clements.
Clements is such a hard hitter to throw to just because she's so handsy. She sees the ball deep, and something that works for you the first time may not work the second time against her, so it's so hard to pitch call against her. I'm sure that the Buckeyes are kind of scratching their head trying to figure out what they're going to pitch to her in her fifth at bat against them.
3 hits in the series for Jessica, former Cal Poly Mustang. Chases one upstairs. Got Hatch on second, outfield shaded a few steps towards the left. Corners creeping in. The 2-1 pitch, a strike. At least early, Boutte looking a little bit sharper than she did at this stage. Of course, she was knocked out yesterday after an inning and a third. 2-2, bouncer down to short. Quarter cracks goes across the first. 4 strikeouts in the first 6 hitters she has faced. Fry looks at a strike here. 407 stepping in. Recently a Big Ten Player of the Week, right-handed hitter. First pitch, or next pitch I should say, the 0-1 is out of the park, but hooking well foul. Tinsley ahead, 0-2.
Taylor was able to place that ball very well. It was well beyond the line into the batter's box, and she knew if she got that pitch in, she did not want to leave it plate, and did a really good job of pressing the batter in that space.
Yeah, the ball comes out of Daniel's glove, but the strikeout recorded 2-3, and give Taylor Tinsley her 5th strikeout.
That pitch is so important for Taylor Tinsley just because Coins has 2 extra pitches. One changeup that hits the strike zone and a changeup that falls out of the strike zone. When you're anticipating it and expecting it, it looks like it's going to be a strike. And with that vertical break, it ends up hitting the dirt, making it such a hard pitch. It's unhittable, and at that point, you're just guessing to see if it's going to land or not.
Skylar Lamone, 351. 18 RBIs, 3 home runs. 1 hit last night. 1-0 pitch. This is 2-0. Skylar is from La Habra. A little more than an hour away. Went to Sonora High School out there. 2-0 pitch. In there. 12th all-time meeting between the Bruins and the Buckeyes. Series that dates back to 1991. UCLA has won 10 of the first 11, including the one last night. And as we told you last night, almost 3 full decades last time the Buckeyes came to Easton Stadium. 2-2. And the payoff. Check, swing, appeal, no swing. Jim Bertuzzi behind the plate, Vince Price at first, and Eddie Cooper there getting the appeal. Buckeyes have a base runner with 1 out in the 3rd. Looks like she held up. What do you think?
Yeah, she held up.
Yep.
For sure. Always good as a catcher just to see if you catch anyone sleeping.
And a strike thrown, 0-1 to Cruz. Last of the order. Limon, first Buckeye to reach here in game 2. 5 strikeouts and now a walk for Tinsley. Count goes even. That ball is turned on, and that's going to be hit into left field for the first Ohio State hit of the day. Nice piece of hitting by the last of the order, Cruz. And again, top to bottom, they are just a very solid hitting group.
Like you said, they're all hitting above 300, so they're all very capable, but they're doing a really good job of table setting right now for the top of the lineup now coming up. And that was played very well. We have to highlight from Riley Slim. She got that in very fast, and the runners were able to stay at first and second instead of at the corners.
Yes. 2 on, 1 out as Parisian looks at a strike. Side part of the plate. 0 for 1. Struck out the first of 5 today for Tinsley.
Good opportunity if you're the Buckeyes right now to be hunting a certain pitch. You do not want to swing at every single pitch that Taylor Tinsley is delivering at the moment. You want to see a specific pitch, probably the one that you see the best, if that's her curveball, if that's the drop, if that's the changeup. The rise ball is normally out of the zone. But you pick a pitch and you go for that pitch. This is a really big opportunity for them to score at least one.
1-1, a little pop-up. Kamaya Bragg has it for the second out. Kamaya Bragg, routine play in the infield, and nice gift for the Bruins behind Tinsley. Another pop-up. This one might clear the screen. It does. Right behind the Bruin dugout. Strike on Buick. Buick struck out looking in the first inning. To Buick in there for a strike, 0-2. Of course, Tinsley, the no-hitter, had a very good San Diego State team, by the way, earlier this year. And today, took the number 9 hitter to get the first hit. It happens a lot, seems like. Number 9 hitter gets that first hit.
It does take a lot of people or a lot of batters to adjust to Taylor Tinsley, simply because the velocity is very different from Caitlin Terry. Not that there's a drop-off, but there's a different element to Taylor Tinsley's pitches. They have a lot more spin, a lot more zip, so it looks like it's getting to you at a fast rate.
This one is playable about halfway down the line in foul territory.
That they want.
Savannah Pola goes after the first pitch at the bottom of the third. And one pitch, one out as Parisian is under it. She had been 4 for her first 5 in the series. Here is Jordan Woolery, reached on a fielder's choice in the first inning. And a strike thrown. Boutte into her third inning now. Didn't make it through the second in game 1 as the starter. Misses there. Still having a very nice freshman year at 13-6. Strikeout to walk ratio about 7-2 for the freshman on the season, and she's ahead of Woolery here, 1-2. 35 pitches into her game, and that one comes to a low the knees, 2-2 the count. Bute's 2-2, sliced away foul. Got Megan Grant on deck. Bruins in their number 3 spot right now with Woolery. 444 on the year. That is the second highest on UCLA. Only to Pola's 452 currently. 2-2 on the way. Thought about it, appeal, and a strike. 3 called. 2 outs, and here comes Megan Grant, and we take you back to game 1, and why not? Walk-off grand slam to finish it in 5. At that time, UCLA was up 10-6. Remember, the Buckeyes had come back a little bit after giving up the 8-run second inning. Cut that deficit in half. Eventually was 10-6, and then kind of quietly, the Bruins loaded them up early in the inning. Again, at least I wasn't really entertaining thoughts of a run rule victory last night. I thought the Bruins would win it after the 8-run second, but after Ohio State, it kept plugging away. And sure enough, the 22nd run rule victory of the season set a school record. 7 runs batted in for Megan Grant with the 2 home runs.
Megan Grant just delivered the final punch there.
1-1, and that's driven on the ground up the middle for a base hit. Hit number 6 for UCLA in game 2. Nice piece of hitting here.
Yeah, that's really pretty. It's a low pitch, just goes straight to it. Not trying to elevate it, doesn't do too much. She's seeing the ball very well.
Grant is 3 for 6 in the series. Of course, she's been one of the top hitters in Big Ten play all through the conference. Here is Riley Slim. Having a terrific initial season. She's now 3 for 4 in the series. Dirt ball, in fact, it's going to get behind Burns and Megan Grant to second. It's going to be a pass ball. Grounder the other way, and the throw to first across the diamond will be the third out. Starts off the 4th inning. Swings and misses, 0-1. Taylor Tinsley through 3 innings. Just the 1 hit and 1 walk allowed. She has struck out 5. 45 pitches into her day. The 0-1 is elevated. Burns and Milliken to follow. Waved out a miss there, reaching out. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Quartercracks is 0 for 3 with a walk in the series. As per usual, the Bruin outfield is deep. 1-2, and a beautiful location. Strikeout number 6 for Taylor Tinsley. That'll bring up Jasmine Burns. 0 for 1 in this one. First time anybody has been able to set her back all week, not just yesterday, but the midweek game in Long Beach. Here are a couple of home runs from last night. Game 1. Went yard twice. Once early on to get the help get the Buckeyes out in front.
Yeah, she hasn't been sat back down since she stepped into California. She's been doing a really good job connecting with the ball. I know she's coming with a little bit more conviction in this at bat.
Struck out in the 2nd. Her first time being set back all week. Takes a strike there, and again, Tinsley quickly ahead. Taylor Tinsley kind of a day so far. Ran a 3rd into it. 0-2. That ball turned on, in and out of the glove of Woolery, though quickly picks it up and throws across the diamond. Very well done. Great focus. Didn't rattle her. Ball was right there. Well done by Woolery.
That was smoked. All she could do was really just put a hand on it and make it stop, and then fortunately, it didn't roll away from her. She was able to just collect out there.
2 quick outs. Here's Milliken. That's popped up. This is going to be a very quick 4th for Tinsley. 1-0. That's over for a strike. 1-1. Well, we had 20 runs scored total last night. 21 total hits. We had 7 total home runs for a 14-6 game in just the 5 innings. Game 2, however, a little different feel, right? Sliced off to the right side in foul territory. This will be caught for a first out in the bottom of the 4th. You got Lauren Boutte, who's really settled in here to game 2, and then Taylor Tinsley doing some great things.
Yeah, it's a very different game.
Yeah.
Seems like it was 2 different squads from yesterday's game, but that's how softball is. At times you're seeing the ball well. There was a lot of heightened energy in yesterday's game. They knew that there was going to be 2 heavy hitters coming up in the Bruins and the Buckeyes, and there was a lot of energy from the crowd. Just felt like a really it felt like a postseason game, and it was a lot of energy, a lot of fun. And now today's game is a little calmer. It's during the day. They're saving a little bit of their energy. But Lauren Boutte has done a really good job of being able to settle in, deliver some quality pitches, and get some outs when she needs to.
All right, Alexis Ramirez back in there. A 1-0 pitch in there for a strike. And again, Boutte out there, just a victim of just very tough luck first inning with those 3 infield singles that cost the Buckeyes a run. That's been it. A 3 1/3 into her day. 45 pitches in. She's got a couple of strikeouts. Hasn't walked anybody. 1-2. It's away. 2-2 to Ramirez. Buckeye bullpen is working. 2-2. Foul back. I was just looking around the ballpark. I don't see too many seats that are empty. It's a packed house. There's some high heat there. Ramirez strikes out. 3rd strikeout for Lauren Boutte.
Lauren Boutte knew that Alexis Ramirez came out swinging first pitch in her last at-bat, so she decided to change it up, went for a ball in her first one, and then was able to just dance around the strike zone and delivered a really beautiful rise ball right there.
Maggie Daniel, number 8 spot, 0 for 1. Nine hits and exactly 50 at-bats. That's a strike. Outfield straight up for Daniel with 2 outs and the bases empty, and Daniel behind 0-2. Freshman out of Hoover, Alabama. Still in there. Boutte winds up the 0-2. Got her swinging. Ball dropped, low and in. Again, a couple of victories for Tinsley in recent days. Got a nice win over at Maryland. Got a non-conference win here against CSUN. A swing and a miss to Farley. Looking great here. Game 2 against the Buckeyes. Ground ball, that's going to be foul. First base side. Keep in mind, this is one of the most powerful offenses in the United States that she's doing it against. Keeping them at zeros through 4 innings with just the 1 hit.
Yeah, to your point, Darren, I think that comes from just the amount of tools that Taylor Tinsley has in her arsenal. She's able to mix up her combinations very well. She's a deceptive pitcher. She's not a pitcher that you can go up there and just be able to see ball, hit ball, and look in one zone. You have to really pick a pitch and buy into it and be able to hunt for that pitch. It's not like you're going to step up there and see pitches. You're going to see pitches that tunnel, which means that they're going to look very similar out of her hand, and then they're going to be able to cut away from different zones for Taylor Tinsley.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Farley. Just getting things started in the 5th inning. Buckeyes have Fry on deck, and then Lamone. Anybody gets on, last of the order, Cruz, who has the lone Buckeye hit today. A lot of people here wanted that one, didn't get it. Just missed what would have been her 7th K, but instead the count runs full. And the right-hander ready and throws. That's away. She loses Farley for the 2nd walk issue today. So here comes Fry. Again, it's just one dangerous Buckeye after another. Shows bunt there, and a strike throw, nothing in one. This is a .402 hitter. 8 homers and 25 driven in.
Smart gameplay, I think. We haven't seen Fry connect too well throughout this series. Try to get something going for the Buckeyes. Try to breathe some life and get a runner at second base in scoring position.
1-1. Tying run aboard for Ohio State here in the 5th. That's right. That's a nice spot. Outside corner, and she's ahead again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. It's going to be fouled back amongst the customers. Not far from us to our left. Keep it 1-2.
It's important at this very moment for Fry to be able to shorten up and get into a 2-strike approach. That means just seeing the ball deeper and sending everything to right field.
1-2, that is away.
Especially since Taylor Tinsley has such a lethal changeup, you don't want to fall victim to that. So being able to just set your eyes deeper into the plate and make sure you're able to fight off anything on the inner half would bring her the most success in this at-bat.
Terry and Clements are barely still in the ballpark. That's how deep they've been playing. Other full count situation. And the 3-2. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second is going to be not in time. So Farley is underneath the tag. Fry gone on strikes for the 7th K for Taylor Tinsley.
That's a beautiful pitch. You can be anticipating it and it's on the plate, but just the amount of movement that it has and the deception it holds out of her hand it's unhittable. You really have to be hunting that pitch early if you want to get a hold of it.
So Ohio State has a runner in scoring position. 0-1 to Lamone. Walked in the 3rd. Goes bunt on the running start in the box. 1-1. Warner's creeping in. That's Woolery and Grant. The 1-1 pitch. This is high, 2-1. Next one to Lamone. That's a strike. Drops in there, right around the knees. 2-2. That was the 70th pitch of the day for Taylor Tinsley. And yet again, for the 3rd straight time, we go 3-2. Ohio State making Tinsley work here. The payoff ground ball to the right side. Very playable the short way. The flip from Pola to Grant, 2 outs. And of course, taken off for third, Farley. Take that, Trader, for your UCLA. Here's Cruz. Got the only hit for the Buckeyes. That's a strike. 0-1. One for 3 this weekend, now at 319. 10 home runs, another strike. So, Tinsley in a nice spot here. Tying run for the Buckeyes, just a base away, but there are 2 outs, and Tinsley had nothing in 2. Winds up and throws. 1-2. Terry, and then the wraparound to Clements and Pola. Puts it 1 away. Lauren Boutte, 1 earned run allowed on 5 hits, and make it 6 hits. Going the other way on the ground. That'll be a long single for Terry. Second pitch she sees. Continues to have a fantastic series. She takes one the other way on the ground.
Finding her groove, Caitlin Terry just seeing that ball really well, but left fielder Hadley Pearson was able to cut that ball off really well and get it into second base before Caitlin Terry was able to get there.
Back to the top goes UCLA. And maybe for a drag bunt situation. Ball 1. Jessica Clements, now 394, 2 homers, 31 batted in. And 3 hits this weekend. Outfield playing her to the left. That is basically the same spot for a 2-0 count. Matea's fan 4 has not walked anybody. This next pitch will be her 58th of the day. 3-0. Pitch, that's a strike. And now's the time to be super selective, right, for UCLA. Generate some base runners, don't force swing anything. And if you're gonna swing here, make sure you really like it. And she did, but that was one to the left.
And the Bruins are infamous for their 5th inning magic, and they're able to string along some hits. So, like, to your point, it's important to not just get yourself in and out just because you think you have to swing. Just really see a pitch that you want and strike it as best as you can.
3-2. Reaching out and slicing one again the other way. The Bruins love to take walks and just generate base runners, and they've only walked 1 time this whole weekend against Lauren Boutte. 5 plate appearances today, the 1 1/3 yesterday. A couple of hops down to second, could be 2, and the relay is a little bit late, so lead runner Terry is erased. Take another look. Tough to get those twin killings on those 2 hoppers.
Yeah, Jessica just possesses too much speed for the ball to take too many hops and for it to just slowly develop like that.
Savannah Pola 1 for 2 after a 3-hit effort in game 1, fouls 1 back. Bruins would of course left some breathing room here. 1-0, starting to get to the later innings. Ground ball down to short. Quartercracks goes a short way, and again, the relay not in time. Same result. 2 outs. Clements is gone. Strike thrown just like any other Buckeye, though. Very capable of tying things up with one swing. Tinsley, a nice 0-2 count. Oh-2 pitch, and Taylor Tinsley has a 6-pitch inning. Strikes out Quartercrack. Lauren Boutte, meanwhile, flirting with a complete game. One foul directly over our heads.
Now, Lauren Boutte hasn't really got into a situation that she's feeling too much pressure from the Bruins, and it's a very different game than yesterday. The Bruins jumped out against Boutte yesterday with a huge plan, and it seems just like a different
1-1, that's driven into the gap and up against the wall. Megan Grant's going to be held to a long single. We've seen that happen, though, in this series before. Up against the wall. Clements yesterday was held to a long single. Take another look at another nice swing by number 43.
Yeah, just a beautiful swing. Strikes the ball so hard. She's been really focusing on that left center gap and has been locked in over there in the 1990 and 1989 championships. She's just been really drilling the ball to that side, seeing the ball deep. Her swing looks super healthy right now.
A stretch where the Bruins won 3 consecutive World Series. Why wouldn't you go to that area of the field? Here comes Riley Slimp, the game's lone RBI. Off the bat of Riley, it was an infield single in the bottom of the first. 1 for 2 in this one. Running start in the box, trying to get one down, and a strike thrown. If she can get it done, this would be Lauren Boutte's 5th complete game of the season. One and one. And Slimp puts one down, and that's going to be too late. Bruins have 2 on, nobody out. You're always fearful for that batter. The ball comes up, you know, and then rolled out of the batter's box. But I think she's good to go in that situation. Let's take another look. Yeah, no contact there, so.
That looked clean, really great bunt. Had a few good bunts go down, this one resulting in her being safe, but I like the thought process of her putting down a bunt to be able to get the offense is so far back right now on every hitter, so it's important to be able to take advantage of that and get a single out of it.
Very important situation all the way around. Buckeyes looking to keep this a 1-0 deficit. Give themselves the best possible chance going into the 7th. Meanwhile, the Bruins love some cushion. The 0-1 upstairs. 1-1. Kanaya Bragg is 0 for 2. Couple of pop-ups. Sends one in the air into right field, pretty deep, just in front of the track. The catch is made. Bruins will have them on the corners with 1 away. Very productive out, of course, for Kanaya Bragg. Here comes Alexis Ramirez, third hit of the year earlier today. Wait, Pinedo pinch running. Pinedo is on third right now. That's a strike. There goes the runner, and Buckeyes, I think, were ready for that. The Bruins, when they have runners on the corners, love to create havoc on the base pass.
Yeah, it's a perfect opportunity to get to a runner to second base and get two runners in scoring position. And although, yeah, take away the double play.
Yeah.
Take away the double play ball.
It's worked a lot for the Bruins over the years. You know, sending that runner from first, the runner from third comes across because the infield's not ready. There's the ball hit high and far. It is over the wall in left field. Home run, Alexis Ramirez. First home run.
She didn't even completely swing on that. She just put her bat to the ball and was able to send it out of here.
The leg clap action down below. UCLA feeling a little bit better about itself as pretty soon it'll be the 7th inning, and you like this 4-0 lead. And what could have been a 1-0 lead. Bruins have a little bit of a cushion now. As the Buckeyes are down to their final 3 outs. Alexis Ramirez sends one off the screen in left field. First home run. Nice time to do it. Looks like Terry got her first yesterday.
Yeah, this gives UCLA a lot more cushion. Almost like they could take a deep breath and get ready to get these next 3 outs.
Yeah, this is Mujica pinch hitting. Bute misses low. Mujica is in the number 8 spot for Daniel. So that means Terry is on deck. 1 out, base is empty. For 3 was Mujica last night. She's 17 for 57 on the season. She's drawn 5 walks. Each head coach having a word with home plate umpire Jim Bertuzzi. Coach Kieran right now. And so it goes final. Another victory for the baseball team. 7-6 over San Diego.
Been playing really well.
Yeah, taking a couple of games against the Toreros
And Coach Savage got his 700th win as a coach.
Such a good coach.
Yeah.
Going away to Mujica, 2-0. Won a national championship here for the UCLA baseball team about a decade ago. Two-0 pitch, that's low. And on 4 pitches, Sophia Mujica jogs it down to first base. 1 on, 1 out. The 6th inning continues. Might have another pinch runner situation here. So finally, here in game 2, the Bruins figuring out at the right time, figuring out Lauren Boutte Got to her early and often there in the second inning yesterday, but it took a while today. Just the 3 infield singles in the first inning, a bunch of zeros thereafter until this 3-run 6 so far. So here is Caitlin Terry. Lisa Lostein pinch running at first. Terry 1 for 1, single, sac bunt. Buckeyes come up in the 7th. They'll have their middle 3. 0-2 pitch, outside 1 and 2, and that means Bergs, Milliken, and Farley. Collectively, that trio is 0 for 5. Whatever that means. Pretty good trio. Thing for UCLA is they've got a little bit of breathing room. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. 2 gone. And the 5th strikeout for Lauren Boutte.
Yeah, there was a bit of confusion on the number of outs, but now 2 outs with just Clemenza.
Drive and 1 foul. 1 for 3. 391 hitting leadoff hitter. Talked about it yesterday, but a tremendous addition to the Bruins softball program out of Cal Poly. All 41 starts. One and 1. There's a bouncing ball moving over, and it is fumbled away by Farley. The inning continues. Not a hard hit ball, a lot of dirt to cover though for Farley. Here comes Savannah Pola. Go ahead and give Farley an error. That is the first error of the game for either team. Now she moved well on the ball, but just couldn't finish.
Yeah, it seemed to have rolled up on her wrist and just wasn't able to trap it down. But runners at first and second, and now Savi Pola up. Lutti just needs 1 more out to get her team back in the dugout and for a chance to just try to tie it with 4 runs.
All right, Pola 1 for 3, 4 hits in the series. Overall batting leader on UCLA when you factor in all 41 games. Looks at 1 low and away. One and 1. First pitch is a strike to Woolery. 0 for 3 in this one. Reached on a fearless choice, struck out, flew out. Swing and a miss, nothing and 2. Suzuki is 4-0. Bouncing ball foul. 11 strikeouts, 8 walks on the year. She has thrown 28 2/3. Again, one of 5 pitchers they've used at one point or another. That 5th pitcher is just not even thrown an inning on the year. So really 4 kind of regulars. The 0-2 pitch outside. Taylor Tinsley sitting pretty to get her 9th victory. 1-2 pitch, still in there. Lauren Boutte on the hook. Dropped 2 games this weekend. Different feel though for game 1 to game 2 for Boutte, certainly. Strike 3. Home crowd doesn't like it. And set back. Swings at the first one and pulls it. Well foul.
Yeah, Taylor Tinsley has done a really great job of holding down Burns this game. Saw her fall victim to a few changeups, but also the rise ball she's been using very well, and the drop ball inside. So she's pairing those combinations really well to be able to get Burns out.
Milliken and Farley to follow in the Buckeye 7th. Bruins feeling good. Put another one in the win column inside the Big Ten. One heck of a day for Taylor Tinsley. Got to get through the 7th, of course. Count stays 1-2 on Burns. And the 1-2, that's hit in the air, playable. Riley Slimp, ball coming in there as Slimp jogs in and makes the play. Tinsley and the Bruins 2 outs away. Here is Milliken, 0 for 2. Otherwise a .339 hitter.
She's been dealing a lot on the outer half against the righties, and she's just been throwing, seems like a drop curve on the outside. It's really pretty pitch.
.90 pitches in for Tinsley. It's remarkable who she's doing this against. One and two to Milliken, swing and a miss, a double-digit strikeout day for Taylor Tinsley. 10 strikeouts versus 2 walks. Of course, just the 1 hit allowed and 1 out away from the complete game shutout against Ohio State. No pitcher in the country has shut out the Buckeyes in 2025. Farley is final hope for Ohio State here in game 2 of the series. 2-0. Fly ball and a walk to Farley's day. That is popped up, left-hand side, playable. Slimp has it for the first time this year. Ohio State is shut out.
And all to the hand of Taylor Tinsley. She did an amazing